Good afternoon, students. Today's session is for GNM Nursing first year students. The topic is anatomy and the physiology of nose. In this session, we will discuss about what is the anatomy, what is the structure of the nose, and what is the physiology of olfaction. So, as you all know, nose is the organ which is used for the smelling, and also it is a part of our respiratory system also. We can divide the nose into two parts, external nose and the internal nose. So we will discuss about external nose and the internal nose one by one. External nose. In this image, we can see the external nose consists of root, bridge, dorsum nasi, apex, ala nasi, anterior nares or nostrils, nasal septum. So what is a root? Root is the top of the nose and it attaches nose to the forehead. Next to the root is the bridge, and bridge is the bony framework of nose and it is formed by the nasal bones. Then apex, the tip of the nose is called the apex. Then the dorsum nasi, it is a border between the bridge and the apex. Then the ala nasi. Ala nasi are also called wings of the nose, and these are the lower lateral surfaces, and these are shaped by the cartilages. The name of the cartilage is ala. That's why they are called ala nasi. Then there are openings, two openings in the anterior portion. These are called the nostrils. And then the nasal septum. Nasal septum, as you all know, it divides the nasal cavity into two parts. So external nose, it is a framework of bone. There is a bone, there is a cartilage. The cartilage is hyaline cartilage. There are muscles, there is skin, and all this external nose is lined by the mucous membrane which will secrete the mucus. So what is the bony framework of external nose? Means what are the bones that made the external nose? These are frontal nose, nasal bone, and the maxillary bone. Frontal bone, nasal bone, and the maxillary bone. Then there are three cartilages: septal nasal cartilage, lateral nasal cartilage, and the alar cartilage. In this diagram, you can see there are frontal bone, nasal bone, and the maxilla, and the cartilages are lateral nasal cartilage, septal nasal cartilage, and the alar cartilage. So the lateral nasal cartilage, these are present inferior to the nasal bone, means below the nasal bones are the lateral nasal cartilage. Then septal nasal cartilage, these form the anterior portion of the nasal septum, and then the alar cartilage, these form the walls of the nostrils. Now, what are the functions of internal structures of external nose? First function is warming, moistening, and filtering of the incoming air. The air which is breathed by the person is warmed, moistened, and filtered out because of the internal structures. Then it also detects the olfactory stimuli, that is smell, and also this is also responsible for modifying the speech. Now the internal nose. This diagram shows the internal nose. There is a nasal vestibule. Behind the nostrils are the nasal vestibule. Then there are conae. Conae are the superior, middle, and the inferior. And in between the conae there are metatarses, superior, middle, and the inferior nasal metatarses. Then the posterior portion is called the nasopharynx. Now, as I told you, internal nose, it is a large cavity. It is made up of large cavity, and it starts from the nasal vestibule, and it is lined with the muscle and the mucous membrane. The external nose was having muscles also, skin also, mucous membrane also, bone also, and the cartilage also. Internal nose, it is lined with the muscle and the mucous membranes. Now, as I shown in the earlier image, anteriorly the internal nose merged with the external nose. Okay, and posteriorly it communicate with the pharynx and form the nasopharynx, and there are two openings. These are internal nares or the conae. Now, the space within the internal nose is called the nasal cavity. So what is nasal cavity? The space inside the internal nose is called the nasal cavity. Just inside the nostrils, the anterior portion is called the nasal vestibule. And in the nasal vestibule, the skin is there and it has various hairs. And what is the function of hair? They will filter out the dust particles. Then I told you conae, these are superior, middle and the inferior, and then in between these conae there is the metatarsus, these are superior, middle and the inferior. Now why they are arranged like this? Because they will increase the surface area of the internal nose and they will trap out the water droplets. When the person exhale, they will trap the water droplets, and so the dehydration will not be occurring in the internal nose. Then nasal septum, it is a vertical partition and it will divide the nasal cavity into right and the left sides. Now olfaction, what do you mean by olfaction? It is a sense of smell. So how the person has a sense of smell? Let's find out. This is the image showing the nose. You can see there is the superior nasal conae, and above that there is the epithelium, which is known as olfactory epithelium. Okay, then olfactory epithelium, there is the ethmoid bone, and this bone has a opening, and this plate is known as cribriform plate. Then there is the olfactory bulb, olfactory tract, and then the brain. So let's find out how the person gets the sense of smell. Now I told you the nose. In the nose there are receptors. Okay, 10 to 100 million receptors are present. These receptors are called olfactory receptors. And where they are present? They are present in the olfactory epithelium. Olfactory epithelium is present above the superior conae. So the olfactory epithelium occupies the superior part of the nasal cavity, and it also covers the inferior surface of the cribriform plate. Now, this olfactory epithelium has three kinds of cells. These are receptors, supporting cells, and the basal cells. See here, this is the olfactory epithelium. There is olfactory receptor cell, basal cell, supporting cells, okay, and the Bowman's glands also. So see, there are various chemicals. These are called odor molecules. These are certain chemicals. These are odor molecules. And then there are cilia, hair like projections, and these are these are attached to the olfactory receptor cells. The olfactory receptor cells is a slender type, and then it forms the olfactory nerve fibers. Let's find out what is the function. There are supporting cells. These are made up of columnar epithelial cells. And what is their function? They will provide support and nourishment for the receptor. They also detoxify the chemicals which come in contact with the epithelium. Next, basal cells. These are stem cells. So what is the function of stem cells? They will continually undergo cell division so that new olfactory receptors produced. So the basal cells are required for the production of new olfactory receptors. Then Bowman's glands. What is their function? They produce mucus. And what is the function of this mucus? It will moisten out the surface of the epithelium and then dissolve these odor molecules which are known as odorants. Now, the olfactory pathway, how we get the sense of smell. This is the diagram showing that there is the olfactory epithelium. In the olfactory epithelium, we have olfactory receptors. These receptors, 40 or 60, join together and they will form the olfactory nerve. There is a right olfactory nerve and the left olfactory nerve. Then these olfactory nerve will go through the ethmoid bone opening, which is known as cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone. From there, these will join with the olfactory bulb. Okay, this bulb will have neurons also, and these olfactory receptors will join with the neurons which are present in the olfactory bulb. From there, a olfactory tract is produced. This olfactory tract will conduct nerve impulses from the olfactory bulb, from the olfactory tract to the cerebral cortex. And what is the area? The area is called primary olfactory area. Let's discuss this in a detail. So for example, there is certain chemicals or the odor molecules. Okay, so what will happen? They will dissolve in the thin layer of fluid which cover the mucous membrane. So in our nostrils, in both the nostrils, there is a thin layer of fluid which cover the surface of the mucous membrane. So the certain chemicals, certain substances which have a certain smells, they will get dissolved and then they will come in contact with the olfactory hairs. So what are olfactory hairs? These are the attached cilia hair like projection. These are the cilia hair like projections which are attached to the olfactory receptors. So they will come in contact, then the pathway begins. Okay, as you all know, olfactory receptor has two projection. There are two projection. There is a short peripheral dendrite, okay, which reaches into the olfactory epithelium, and the other is a very long and extremely thin axon. At the one end towards the olfactory epithelium there is a short peripheral dendrite and other is the long and extremely thin. Now, all these 40 axons collectively form the nerves. These are the right and the left olfactory nerves. These nerves will reach the cranial cavity. As I told you, these nerves will reach the cranial cavity and pass through the cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone and then enter the olfactory bulb. And where it is present in the brain only. Now, in the olfactory bulb, the axon terminus of the receptor forms synapses with the dendrites and the cell bodies of the olfactory bulb neurons. So, as I told you, there are two parts of the olfactory receptor. One part is towards the olfactory epithelium and other will form or join with the olfactory bulb neurons. Okay, then the axons will extend and then they will form the olfactory tract. Then all the axons will form the olfactory tract. Then some of the axons will go to the brain. In the brain there is the lobe which is known as temporal lobe. There the axons will go and then the person will have a sense of smell. The other axons goes to the brain part, hypothalamus part and the limbic system. And what is the role of this? These connections have emotional and memory evoke responses to the odors. It means, for example, you had a nausea when you smell a food which once made you violently ill. So that is because the axons of the olfactory tract will go to the hypothalamus area and then this will have a connection for the emotional and memory evoke response to the certain smells. Now the arterial supply of the nose. So there are internal carotid artery and the external carotid artery, and the branches of these supply to the nose. In the example, internal carotid artery branch is ophthalmic artery. It will supply to the nose. The anterior and the posterior ethmoidal artery will supply to the nose. Similarly, the external carotid artery, it has branches. The facial artery, which has branches of facial artery, will supply to the nose. And then maxillary artery, these have the sphenopalatine artery. This will branch into sphenopalatine artery. Then the branches of these artery will supply to the nose. Similarly, there are palatine artery, the greater and the lesser palatine artery. So the nose is supplied by anterior and posterior ethmoidal artery. The nose is also supplied by the greater and the lesser palatine artery, sphenopalatine artery, and the branches of facial artery. In this diagram, you can see there are anterior and posterior ethmoidal artery, sphenopalatine artery, greater palatine artery, and the superior labial artery. And all these 5 arteries anastomosis in the part of the brain which is known as Little's area. So little area is the part where all the 5 arteries anastomosis, means they join together. Now venous drainage of the nasal cavity. So the nose veins will follow the same as the arteries, and then they will drain into the facial vein, then they will drain into the cranial cavity sinus, and also drain in the pterygoid plexus, which is present in the infratemporal fossa. Now nerve innervation. So special sensory innervation, it means the sense of the smell, it will be by the olfactory nerves. And the general sensory innervation, it will be by the 2 nerves, nasopalatine nerves and the nasociliary nerves. And the external nose is supplied by the trigeminal nerve. In the diagram, you can see there are olfactory nerves, there is the nasociliary nerve and the nasopalatine nerves, and external nose is supplied by the trigeminal nerve. So in today's session, we discussed about the structure of the nose, the external nose and the internal nose, the arterial supply, venous supply, and the nerve innervation of the nose, and how the olfactory pathways occur. Thank you.